on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Anchored Down. Here with Aiden making his turn and a special guest today, Mr. Brown.
I'm not here.
Yeah, but you were on the last one, you know what I'm saying? You were on the last one. All right.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Great to have you on. Mr. Brown's going to talk to us today about career academies to kind of get that message out there and some information out there. How you doing, Harry?
Good. Glad to be back here. I think it'll be kind of cool to get a little bit of insight and maybe it'll be informative to you guys. So we'll have Mr. Brown on, and it's not going to be a boring podcast because we'll still have our normal parts to it, and you'll be able to learn and I think take a lot away from this episode.
Oh, career academy boring, you said?
No.
That's what I took from that.
I
took the same thing.
No, I was saying it wasn't boring.
It's like a notice, like FBI label warning, like do not watch this if you want to be bored.
I guess Mr. made it automatically boring.
No, just don't get worried that it's going to be boring because it's not going to be boring. There's going to be a lot to learn, so yeah.
I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
And on that note, Mr. Brown, do you want to give us some background on career academies? Like when did it come to these schools, and when did you become a part of it at Hibbing?
So we started looking at this a little over 3 years ago. We pursued and looked at some other schools, Bemidji High School, Alexandria, if there were schools that do this. There's a group of teachers that we wanted to find ways, I think, to better ourselves and better our programming and to find those pieces that really connect kids to the workforce. And that was how we did that. And along the way, we tried to build the program around what we do really, really well. And that's why the academies we have are really built around programs we already had success in. And I always tell people that our career academies are what high schools are anyways. They're always a form of a career academy. We just kind of put a brand on it, put a label on it, and allowed us to kind of market that. And I think that's where we really need improvement. One of the reasons why I'm on here today is kind of talk to you guys, to let you guys share a little bit about your experiences, but also to help promote our brand and get that word out there to more and more people. So,
I have a question. So, what made you switch? Because everyone probably knows that's watching this. You were a math teacher before this. What kind of drove you to switch from teaching math to getting into this career academies and creating other opportunities for us students?
Well, to be honest, I got in trouble a few times as a math teacher for being too much of a life teacher. So I'd find myself in Mr. Finko's office where usually the kids would find themselves. But I always felt there was a better message out there, too. I think kids remember a lot in life, and they don't always remember everything from the math classroom or what you're teaching in Algebra 2 or geometry. But if you can really hit kids from a way to be a good person and to better yourself as an adult and to find what you're really searching for, that's why I decided to go through this route. And I really felt a passion that somebody in our school needed it, and I thought I was a good candidate for it.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It was a tough pool. There was a lot of applicants, so the school had a really tough choice.
With getting the message out, how has COVID affected being able to get the message out to the younger kids and 7th through 9th graders that haven't really been here, had a normal year yet?
It's a great question. I think we struggle with that just from a programming standpoint, trying to get our kids into opportunities. I think you guys experienced it tremendously as high school kids. It has affected what we wanted to do. We have peer mentors in our education and child care career academy, and one of the things we like our peer mentors to do is to be in elementary classrooms. These are kids that are pursuing, wanting to be teachers, wanting to go down that path, and we haven't been able to put those kids into classrooms. But we have the opportunity this year. We're really grateful for it because, again, when it comes to real-life connections, it's one thing to hear about what it's like to be a teacher. It's one thing to be a student. It's a whole other thing to be in front of the classroom, being responsible for what is happening and how you control it. So it has affected it greatly. We've got our health careers career academy. COVID has made it really hard to get those kids experiences. You guys are able to come here, and even under COVID, we had some mask things we were dealing with you guys, even here in this smaller setting. So to try to put kids into nursing homes or clinics or PT and OT, it's been hard.
Yep. Yeah, makes sense.
So with let's back on that math topic. Having you as a teacher, it was great to you have a different teaching style, and it was challenging us as people in the classroom, not just math students. And I think the career academies, you're really advancing that like life challenge with like finding what you want to do, and even if what you don't want to do. Because say we come here and we don't like it, then we can rule that off. We can rule speaking off, and I think that's a big part of it too.
Absolutely. And one of the, right even before we started Career Academies, we actually had a young lady who was in our healthcare core curriculum class, which you guys probably know as our CNA class.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And within 2 weeks of being in that class, she was like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this class. And thankfully that was in a high school class, not where she had signed up for a college class and she's paying for it.
Yeah.
And she actually moved from that CNA course over to our automotives course and did really, really well. And Mr. Abadi worked with a local manufacturer, and she ended up getting a summer internship with Detroit Diesel, all based on not, or finding out what she didn't want to be.
Yeah.
And again, for free. It didn't cost her
Yeah.
anything to do it. And so I think that's really kind of where it's at. And, you know, I've kind of been known to call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
And sometimes in our world, it isn't always an easy thing to do. But I always try to do it with the fact that reminding people that, man, at the end of the day, I want you to care about yourself, and I want you to care about what you're doing. And it isn't always easy to be in these roles and be mentors, and you know, and that's hard and challenging, but I think it's needed as well. And you guys will find that out as you go and grow and become mentors to other people yourself.
Yeah.
So
And
Go ahead.
I think that this is probably the best thing in school, that you can really see like what you just want to be for the rest of your life. Really, just I mean, unless if you have a really sought out career when you're coming into high school, this is probably like the best thing you could do to see what you want to go into college for, and just offer free as well. And,
free is good.
Yeah, that's a big part.
I think it kind of that brings us into like the internship kind of part of it. You were kind of speaking on that a little bit about how you can start, you know, you can join a career academy and then you can get the real life experiences, and you can know, because like you can get a class, but that's not the same. So if you're going to like we're here, you know, we're at HPAD, we know what it's like now, and there's other people like going to like L&M and many other places, and like how many people do we have that are in career academies that have like internships or that go out there for their like school day?
We've got 300 kids registered for a career academy, and I think the misnomer is when you sign up for a career academy, you're not really signing up for a class, right? You're signing up to be part of a group. That's one of the messaging things we want to get out there. You register at the same time, register for all your classes, but you sign up to be on a list of kids with similar interests and aptitudes. Mm-hmm. From there, we've got 20 plus kids right now that are doing work-based learning, you three included, right? Yep. These three guys are here, and they actually are earning high school credits as part of this. They do the show for about an hour a week, but then they have some planning that goes into this. They're also doing some social media stuff for us. So a great way to learn in a real life perspective. And I think if we go back a little over a year ago and we asked you guys, you know, what were your thoughts about being on a podcast and things like that, to where you are now, and I'll let you speak to that shortly, but I think you probably had a lot of growth along the way.
Yeah, we did.
We've got a great opportunity. L&M Radiator has one of our students in there, Amara, and she's doing an engineering internship. So she leaves school at lunch and she gets to go to L&M Radiator, work in their research and development, their R&D lab, which is a pretty cool thing. You're working for a global company. She gets to do it all through the year. If she does what she needs to do, they're looking at bringing her on as a summer intern. And then she would roll into that her senior year and have a whole nother senior year of having her afternoon be an engineering intern. And so when it's all said and done, she'll really know what it's like to be an intern, or to be an engineer, and that's pretty invaluable. So, you know, and again, let's go down the list. What are your guys' thoughts? I know we talked about this early on, and you kind of all had different reasons for wanting to be on here, but what are your thoughts? How has this changed your view of our program and what your future looks like?
Yeah, I'll start. So I think like originally joining in like last year, I think we were at a basketball game and you kind of talked to me and you were like wondering what I wanted to do, and I had said, you know, I kind of like graphic design, but I'm also like the whole social media marketing kind of side of it. And I joined and I was running the Career Academies Instagram, and I was helping out in the like behind the scenes with the podcast. And I think my roles kind of switched now. I still do the Instagram and then also here a little bit and on the podcast, but I think it was like a really good way to see what it's really like, because you don't really know what that real life experience is, and I think it's just kind of it's cool to kind of grow from that. And I think seeing how we've grown the podcast and seeing how far we can grow it, and I think it's been pretty cool, and it's a fun experience, like being able to take this as an hour of your day to come here and like with my friends and start podcasts, I think it's been pretty cool and really awesome and really fun.
Yeah, and with that, on Harry's point, I'll bring my point next, but over the last 2 years, Harrison's been doing a lot of social media stuff, and like you said, the career academies, and you're just always improving with that, like doing it with the Luth FC and the Hibbing Boys Soccer one, and it's just continuing to work on that and improving, knowing what you kind of want to do. But for me, it's obviously an hour out of my day. It's a good hour because I get to work with these two and Mr. Brown and Mr. Workla to work on this podcast and talk about stuff, talk about what we want to do. And Mr. Brown gives us a lot of leeway to talk about what we want, and that's really nice too. And one thing that I learned over the year is that like there's a lot of structure that kind of goes into this. It's not just like us talking. It's like planning out and then
trying to get guests on and stuff.
Stuff like that. And also I'm working during the basketball season more. I'm going to work with my dad a little bit on like shadowing him, coaching a little bit. So that's a cool opportunity too. Who are you, Kellen?
I think it was just a good way to get a real world experience on, this could be something I do for the rest of my life, and I want to see if I enjoy it. And obviously, I already knew sitting in a math class wasn't going to help me, but, I mean, no offense or anything, but I just knew it wasn't going to help me, and, I talked to Mr. Brown probably second semester last year. My mom brought it up. She said that she ran into you talking about what I want to be or whatever, and then we just got on the whole podcast idea, and I kind of jumped on it. I thought it was cool. I got these guys on here just to come here and just talk and see what goes on behind the scenes and all that, so yeah, it's just a good program, and I think if you got questions or anything, what you want to be, just talk to Mr. Brown or somebody. This is definitely a good program.
Yeah, and like going along with that, like Mr. Brown is like the head, you're like the head career academy advisor. Yeah. But you also have, so like once you get into your career academy, we have Miss Nelson is, Mrs. Nelson?
Yep.
Yeah, Mrs. Nelson is our advisor, and we talked to her last week, and like if you have any questions throughout, you're like, while you're doing it, you can go talk to her as well. So, you have people that are looking out for you, and you're not, just because you join a career academy and you're in that pool of people, you're not alone. Like, you still have people that you can count on, and they have your back.
They'll answer your questions for sure. Who are the other advisors for the other, first of all, the other academies, and then advisors with them?
So Mrs. Sue Nelson is the Performing Arts and Communications Career Academy Director, and that's the program you guys fall under. And again, I think sometimes with the label of performing arts, some kids are like, well, is that just theater, drama? And no, I mean, this is it. This is a communications one as well. Social media falls in, and all kinds of different landscapes fall into that performing arts and communications category. We've got our building and trades, which is probably our largest academy. That's Mr. AJ Abadi, who runs that. And if you look at that, we're really got to focus on carpentry, welding, as well as we have a little bit of electrical that goes into it, and then our automotive program is great. Our automotive kids, actually, they partner with HCC. They're over at HCC every other Friday learning and working with HCC's program. If you look, and then we have education and childcare, which is Mrs. Jamie Trenberth. That's our peer mentor program. Hibbing's always done a great job of producing educators. You could go through the high school staff, elementary staff, and I bet you over a third, if not a half, of our staff is former Hibbing graduates. And so, you look at that side of it, but education and childcare is more than just that. Maybe you don't want to go pursue a teaching degree. Maybe you want to be a paraprofessional, be an aide in the school, help kids that need help, do daycare, start your own daycare, work in a center. That's an option as well. We've got engineering, which you talked about. That's Mr. Carl Sadness. Or Dr. Sadness, we should call him, right? Kind of the guru. Super smart guy. And he's head of our engineering academy. And it's interesting because we have a lot of kids that say they want to be engineers, yet our academy's numbers aren't that big. And it's you could do the college prep thing without necessarily being in our engineering academy, but I think some of the kids are missing out because, as I said, with Amara's opportunity, there's a great opportunity there to go be an engineer and see that stuff. We've got our Health Careers Academy. That's Mrs. Mary Warner, but we're going to lose her this year. She's done. She's retiring. I think we'll all shed a tear for her because she's such a rock star. But Mr. Fleming will be taking over after that, so we'll still go on. Big shoes to fill. But that course has got our capstone with our healthcare core curriculum. So HCCC course, so there's an extra C in there. But they actually partner with HCC, Hibbing Community College, to do our CNA course. And those kids get 6 credits. They get 6 credits, 6 college credits through that class. Their last 3 weeks of that course, all of January, they get to go do a 1-week internship. We've had kids intern with Hibbing Fire Department, do EMS and paramedic stuff. We've had kids at Choice Therapy doing PT, OT. We've had kids spend a week with a veterinarian in the hospitals, in the clinics, you name it. We've had a lot of kids do stuff. So that's the healthcare one. In our last, did I get them all 5? Performing arts, right? That would be So we got all 5. So that's kind of where we're at with that, and those are the people. So if you're a student or a parent watching, those are the people you want to encourage your kids to talk to. And we did just hire an administrative assistant. So the newest member to the Bluejacket Career Academy team is Mrs. Jen Sparks. So she's got added Monday, and so she'll be helping work with kids and attract new employers and programs like that.
And also, I think if you're looking at career academies and you don't see the exact thing you want to do, when we were looking into it, there was obviously no podcast, there was no Instagram. But when you go talk to Mr. Brown and see what you can do, because it's realistically it's pretty open, and there's a lot of stuff you can get into doing, and just go talk to, see any of those advisors as well, and you can just start talking to someone and see what you can work out.
Yeah, and my understanding is it's kind of it's obviously it's flexible, but it's expanding, because what is the future like? Is the internships? Sorry, my understanding is that the internships it can continue to expand the opportunities, different opportunities.
Yeah, and with our academies, we built them around what we already do and do well.
Yeah.
Again, this was, I think, our area that we didn't have as many supporting classes at the high school. We had a couple of theater classes. We don't have any communication classes, right? So it was probably our thinnest supported program. But these are opportunities that come out of that. So even though at first we didn't really have everything to support it, you guys are helping create a really good support system for a program that we needed it in. Our building and trades program, we've always had a great relationship with L&M Rated. There's these great capstone things, these end of program life things that kids get to do. We didn't quite have those. So this is an example of that, and we can grow from that. So where we go from there, number one, we'd like to have courses that support at the high school. Really, you want to be able to get kids to learn at the school, connect to the real world, and kind of have that support structure. But we can't do everything. As big of a school as we are on the range, we're still a pretty small school, so we can't offer a ton. But I've got a young lady interested in marine biology. Well, you guys know we don't have anything for marine biology at Hibbing High School. So I've been trying to reach out to the Great Lakes Aquarium to connect her to somebody there. COVID's making it really hard for that connection to happen, but we're doing the best we can. So even though our academies cover 5 career areas, there's still anything we can do. The whole work-based learning side of what I do, the internship side, it covers anybody and everything. So.
Yeah, and that's a great point that you can it's going to expand and stuff like that. And if you guys are having questions about it, like Harry said, ask Mr. Brown or Ms. Nelson, Mr. Sadness, etc. And if you feel like you're in a lot, or if you have a study hall, because you have a study hall, right? I think we all do. Yeah. But if you're in a study hall and you don't have homework a lot, go talk to Mr. Brown. Maybe get that work-based learning hour. And totally forgot where I was going with that.
That's right. I'm going to run with it too from there, because again, shoot me an email, come down and talk, and I think that's where a lot of these conversations happen. You might just be sitting there, you're not sure, just send an email my way, or stop in the office and see what we can do. Because again, I think one of the cool things going on tonight, to expand on your question of where we're going, we have our first exploring post tonight. So we're partnering with a group. It falls under the Boy Scouts of America umbrella. Is who does this called Exploring program. You guys got a couple of flyers in front of you there. But our first one tonight is with the Range Bar Associations. We've got Judge Friday coming in, Miranda Ridlin, who is an attorney with Cope and Peterson. So they're going to be offering a once-a-month training, essentially, for kids. Ideally, that training happens on site. Ideally, we send kids to experience something like that. COVID makes it hard to get into the courthouse with a group of people, right? So we're going to host it at the library tonight, but our students who are interested in law and government are going to be able to come and hear from professionals in that world. Miranda Ridlin was a paralegal forever, and she liked that, and then she ended up pursuing her law degree and is now an attorney. So a Hibbing graduate that's coming back to give back to Hibbing students to talk about her profession. And we're looking to expand those exploring groups too. We're going to start a law enforcement program with HPD in January.
Nice.
We're
Yeah.
looking at one with the fire department, HFD, to do EMS, paramedics, firefighting. We're hoping to work with a few people in town with PT and OT, physical therapy, occupational therapy. Detroit Diesel, DMR, they're on board to do one with what they do, electrical and things like that, their facility. So that's a great way we're going to expand without, we don't have the programs to do it at the school, but we have good partners in town. So the message is there too. If you're a local industry partner or a business owner and you're watching this and you see, hey, I'd like to get involved, reach out. As much as the kids should reach out, parents should reach out, industry partners, business owners, same thing. I think you take a look at the communication side of it. I think there's some great opportunities with some of our photography kids. We've got some great photographers in town, Harrison, right, and his whole family. And I think there's some cool things that we can do to expand that stuff.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
Definitely.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on. I mean, that's kind of where we're at with career academies, and I gotta let them have a little bit of their minutes. So I'm gonna hang around while these guys talk their stuff a little bit, but I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being on and obviously creating the opportunities for us and others. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know what Harry was talking about.
No, I didn't say it was boring.
It's not boring.
Ignore the label at the beginning of the show.
But anyways, here's the good part, as I said earlier, I guess.
Come on, man.
Wow.
Anyways, we had Jory Anderson and Reese Ani on last episode, and they were headed to state like the next day, and so they placed 10th, I believe, at state.
Yeah,
that's
10th.
correct.
10 out of 16. And shout out Lil Sully for being number 1 for the Hibbing girls team.
Yep, Melina. Yep, she's been pretty good.
She goes by Lil Sully, bro. Come on.
Okay, yeah. Girls hockey opener. She's
Friday.
an opener.
Yep.
This Friday.
Friday at MB.
Good luck to them.
Yep. Girls swimming sections is Thursday, and then Saturday I think it's prelims.
I think Friday is prelims, right? Would that make sense? No.
No, I think
Thursday,
so.
Saturday, generally speaking.
Thursday.
Okay.
Check out the edition of What's Up Jackets because it's on there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you make that too.
hopefully Harry didn't just make that up.
Yeah,
but,
come on.
My bad.
Yeah, and also HCC opens up tonight, so if you want to go watch some basketball, they play tonight, and then Friday against Bay College, and Mason will be back, so that'll be good to get him back.
Former Bluejacket
Yeah.
and teammate, and well, someone's son on here.
Yeah.
It's not one of our threes.
Hope not.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
Yeah, it'll definitely be cool.
Yeah, so unfortunately you won't see us at the hockey game. We will be watching the basketball game on
Yeah,
Friday.
but
So
we'll get to hockey games in the future.
one
Yeah,
day.
definitely.
One day.
But yeah, so
Girl-
that would be cool to see
yeah.
Mason come back to town.
Yep, and girls basketball starts practice Monday. Boys basketball, we got captain's practice.
How's
and,
that going?
It's been all right. I haven't been able to participate with my teeth, but today is the first day that I am able to do stuff. So I'm
Everyone better
excited.
watch out.
Okay.
No.
You gotta get back in the groove. I saw him shooting
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah, he's missing. He's it takes him a day and a half. So Friday, everyone watch out.
We don't have school Friday, so I don't know what Harry's talking
Okay.
about.
Well,
Again, Eric, come on.
Thursday,
I was speaking on stuff.
whatever. Anyways, Timberwolves, they're 3-6. So I know I said they were gonna go 82-0, but I switched it. Listen up.
72-6?
No, 3-79. We're gonna tank and we're gonna get Chet.
Chet, yeah,
Okay,
Chet had a nice
okay.
game yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 points and like 6 blocks, 7 blocks. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
add Chet to the roster.
Quickly, we got the MLS playoffs coming up. Colorado 1 seed,
1 seed.
the Loons 5 seed,
Yep.
but almost out.
No, they're 5 seed.
They were
They're
almost
almost
out
out.
though. They
Okay,
were one
yeah.
goal.
They're
from
They were
being
almost
out.
out. It was pretty
You have to
risky.
leave the group chat and all.
Yeah,
So
Harrison.
if they really make
Harrison.
it.
Let's explain it. Harrison left the group chat because the Loons were 1 goal away from not making the playoffs.
No,
and they-
you're explaining it wrong. Aiden's TV is ahead of mine, so I didn't want him to spoil it because I was watching the game. So that's why I left the group chat, not because I was
He was
scared.
just so
He's scared.
scared.
Anyways, yeah, they play Portland, and then if they win, they'll go to Colorado.
and lose. The Vikings lost last week.
Vikings in.
The Vikings are Vikings.
I like you guys' notes. Vikings are Vikings. Well said. Well
Yeah,
said.
I always get the lead, and then Lamar Jackson happened last week, and he's my pick for MVP. He's really good.
That's all you use in it, like when we play NFL.
Yeah.
Was he the first
Yeah,
guy to
not
get
NFL.
2,000 passing
Yeah.
yards and like 600 rushing yards in the first 8 games? First ever.
And
So
he threw more yards than Kirk and ran for more than Delvin the other day. So.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey, but
but
Delvin, shout out to Delvin, stay strong, man. You know what I'm saying?
anyway,
He's back, right?
yeah,
You're
yeah.
riding
but
well.
He's
Got
off of the
something.
injury. So
No,
anyway,
there's something else going on.
anyway, pop out to the girls hockey game if you don't come to the ACC game. Come to the ACC game, you'll see us there and
You'll
a
see
few
us
of our,
cheering.
Just
teammates.
come
and-
to like a half of each maybe or something.
yeah,
There's not
girls,
half in
girls
hockey.
Oh,
started
okay.
Hockey, come to like a quarter and then
Yeah,
come to the basketball game.
but,
You can
uh,
make it to both.
Yeah, you could.
You could. Well, anyway, everybody have a good week. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for coming on, and thank you for the opportunities that you're giving us and the rest of
Yeah.
the kids at
Yeah,
high
thank
school.
you.
I appreciate you guys rising the challenge because it's not really easy to do this.
No.
When I think we mentioned it, I think you guys were like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And then all of a sudden the lights come on. You're like trying to have a conversation. Callan's trying to pause the show halfway through. But these guys are doing a great job. It's really cool.
Thank you.
And I think, like you guys said, I think there is some freedom, right? It's
Yeah.
empowering kids to make some mistakes. Right, and learn from it in a
Yeah.
very safe environment without too much to worry about. So,
Yeah.
thanks to Mr. Workala, we appreciate it. He's such a good dude having us here. Thanks, Ron,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
to his staff here at HPAT.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Thank you very much, and
Thanks for
enjoy your
watching.
week, guys, and thank
Stay
you. for-
safe.
Short week.
Hibbing Public Access Television would like to thank U.S. Bank for providing us with studio space.